Okay, Mr. Mayor, we are now live. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Brittany. I will call the meeting to order. Approval of the agenda. Is there any member who'd like to add anything to our agenda here today?
I don't believe so. I got some questions when we go through the report. That's about it. So we
Okay,
can do
so
that. We can do that at the end.
I have a recommendation here that the agenda be approved as presented. Brittany, do you want to follow the same protocol as recorded vote or just show of hands?
Show of hands, please, as we only have one member present. A recorded vote seems moot.
Okay. So Brittany, I'll ask for the vote. All in favor? There, I can see your hand now, Barry.
Okay.
It's carried. Okay, we are moving on to our agenda. We are down to declaration of pecuniary interest. You can clear anytime you see fit during the meeting. Minutes of the previous minutes. I have a recommendation here that the minutes of the Police Service Board meeting held on October 13th, 2020 be approved. Does the board have any questions? Barry, any questions on those minutes?
I don't believe so. I went through them and didn't see anything in that.
Okay. I'll call the vote then. All in favor? It's carried. So we'll move on to our agenda. With no presentations, no delegations, public question period. Madam Clerk, were there any questions submitted by the public?
There was not.
Okay. Welcome, Peter. You're mute. Can you hear me, Peter?
Maybe he's got to turn on his mic.
Mr. Mayor, if you'd like to carry on, I can assist Member Hughes while you're going through the commander's report.
Thank you, Brittany. We'll move on. We have no correspondence. We're down to our next recommendation. That detachment commander report for September to October 20th, and November to December 20th be received for information. Someone to move, put on the floor, please.
So move.
Moved by Peter. Second by, or moved by Barry, second by Peter. Commander Anna, Deborah, go ahead and give your report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'm very happy to present the last quarter Police Service Board report to Georgian Bluffs. I'm glad to see everybody, even though it is over a screen. Hopefully one day it'll be in person. I would just like to go through the report if that's all right with you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me as we're going through, and I'll try to answer them as best I can.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the first area I want to take a look at is violent crime. And you'll see by the report, it's anywhere from as serious as murder to crimes against other persons. And overall, the percentage of change at the violent crime is down slightly in your area, which is always a good thing. However, if you take a look at the next area is property crime, and property crime is up slightly. I know that our street crime unit received a report of stolen goods, and within 24 hours was able to write a warrant and recover those goods and return it to the rightful owners. So there is work being done in the property crime area to try to get that down a bit. Drug crime, the numbers look a little bit shocking, but really in the area of trafficking, we had 0 the same time in 2019 as compared to this year, we have 4 this year. And again, our street crime unit is working on making those numbers better. The next page would be the clearance rates for violent crime, property crime, and drug crime. Our clearance rate is down slightly, but it's really not a number of any significance. If you'd like to take a look next at your billing summary report, and I'll just go down to the main total numbers so you can see as compared to last year, 2019, sorry, the previous year, 2019. So your billing categories for violent criminal code offenses is down ever so slightly. And yet again, you can see if you turn all the way over a couple of pages, you'll see that the billing categories for property crime are down slightly as well. The other criminal code violations, those are bail violations, which we're finding we are making significantly more charges for bail violations, and we think that it may be attributed to COVID and the new release policies, so that is up slightly. Drugs, you can see that there was a significant, well, a little over double the amount of time billed for drug occurrences, and that would probably be attributed to our street crime unit and the investigations they do. Their investigations do take a lot of hours to get to the end result, as opposed to some other criminal code investigations. It is labor intensive. Some of them taking months before we see any results. So, statute and acts are up slightly. Again, these are mental health calls. They do sometimes take a significant amount of time on the road to complete and address and get people to the help that they need. See. So operationally, the year-to-date weighted hours are up slightly as compared to 2019. But yet your operational 2 category is down slightly, so it works out to be a slightly more cost for policing in 2020 than 2019, but only by a little over 100 hours or so. So it's pretty much status quo for your cost for policing. And I guess just want to take a look next at your traffic file control registry. So I went through these, and I'm looking at the incident type, and really most of them are property damage only. And you had 3 non-fatal traffic accidents. So that, and a lot of them are due to animals. There's a few speeding, that sort of thing, but overall, I wouldn't say that your traffic file control registry indicates that there's any infrastructure issue in any particular intersection that you might want to take a look at to be addressed. It's not a bad outcome with just the property damage. So, and that's about it for me. If you would. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you.
Thank you, Deborah. Does the board have any questions?
Yes.
Barry, go ahead.
I got one couple here. The Proud Boys that's going on in Canada. There is a truck been sitting at Tim Hortons, and it's been sitting at McDonald's with all the signs on it. 8 crimes. American flag, and the government's corrupt and all that stuff. Have you done an investigation on that? I did report it in once to the office, but
Okay.
I haven't heard back what was going on there or what's going on there.
Okay, we wouldn't normally report back on that unless you requested it, but do you remember the date that you called it in or
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. And I do have pictures on my phone of the vehicle.
okay.
And
Oh, for any
the light-
particular,
But the license plates is covered up with the flag, so I couldn't get the license plate of the vehicle.
no worries. I can certainly look that up for you and report back to you on that. I'd have to look it up on our reporting system and just see what, if you called it in, there would be an occurrence that's created. And I'll just take a look at what the officers have done with that, and I can certainly report back.
I just noticed like the last week that since it came out.
Deb, if you report back, would you put it through our clerk, please, so it'll go to all the board?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you. Barry, you had another question?
Yeah, I noticed like we're getting a lot of impaired driving charges. It seems that there's a lot of people out there doing driving, drinking, and whatever. Did we not get some extra funding there about a month ago or 2 months ago for to do ride programs? And if so, are you implementing to do more when this COVID's on or not?
We certainly are continuing to enforce drinking and driving laws, and we are actively participating in ride programs. It appears to me that before Christmas, there was only one township in Gray that had signed off on the grant money for Festive Ride, and I don't think it is Georgian Bluffs, but have you recently signed a grant money for Festive Ride?
Brittany, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And yes, we have signed the ride agreement for 2020 through to 2022.
Okay, perfect. Usually what happens is once we get that confirmation and it interprets to so many hours of additional ride programs, then our ops manager, who's currently Nigel Heels, I think you have all met him, he will set that up with the detachment, and officers can sign up for the additional duties to have those extra patrols out there to enforce the drinking and driving laws.
Okay, thanks, Deborah.
Yeah,
Barry, does that answer your question?
Yeah, and when you're talking about Nigel, I'd like to thank him. He is sending me all the reports now of what's going on in the detachment, of all the incidents, and I sure appreciate getting them, and I passing them on to Peter, so I think Dwight gets them all the time anyway, so.
Very good. I'll pass that along.
Does the board have any other questions? Peter, are you able to hear us yet?
I just got on via my phone. But yes, I can see everything. My audio is not working.
Okay, do you have any questions of the commander's report?
At this time, I do not. I read it over. I'm like Barry. I'm a little surprised about some of the amount of impaired driving charges in the area. And I got a double mute here. Hold on here. There. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, that's better. But no, at this time, I don't have any questions. Or I just have one comment, and she might want to comment about it. Is would the impaired driving be related possibly to just the whole issue of the COVID situations we're under and the different dynamics people are living under?
Well, I mean, everybody's heard in the news that they feel that alcohol consumption's up about 20% since COVID happened, and I don't have any direct correlation between that, but it is very possible.
Yeah, I was just curious. Anyway, no, that's thank you for your report.
No problem.
Thanks, Peter. If there's no questions from the board on the commander's report, I'll call a vote then. Those in favor of the motion before us?
Yeah.
Show of hands, please. Okay, it was carried. So we'll move on to our agenda. We're down to unfinished business. We have none. We're down to new business. Deborah, I'll maybe start off on this new business. I did attend the Roma conference here, seems like a lifetime ago, but I think it was last week. I did attend a session concerning the new board changes and so on to do with the Community Safety and Policing Act changes, which must be completed by 2022. And some of the things are coming out of it. It was more, I got the feeling it was more of a GTA session instead of rural Ontario where we live. That's the part that kind of threw me a bit. And one thing caught my eye was the proposals by spring. Are you aware of that?
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
Well, it says the OPP detachment board process must be done by spring of 2021. In other words, the OPP are going to set up a police service board. Are you aware of that?
I believe that's been delayed. And so what I was sort of anticipating you asking questions on in this is the new sort of setup with respect to the new changes to the Act is basically one detachment, one police services board.
That's correct.
Right. And there's some pros and cons to that, but it's what we have to work with. And that we won't know how exactly that looks until the regulations are complete. So right now we're waiting to hear, but as soon as I get information on that, I could certainly pass that along. But we're all sort of anticipating this coming up this year. So,
well, the people that were presenting at the Roma conference seem to have a different way of saying it. They were saying it's all done. We're waiting for the detachment commanders or your division, in other words, to set these boards up. There'd be one member from each municipality. Didn't really say about there'd be one member for every 10,000 population. There'd be at least one member.
okay.
And just a whole bunch of things, but it all pinpointed on that our OPP detachments, in our case, the South Bruce, had to have this in place by spring of 2021. You're saying it's being held up, but
Well,
we do need some kind of a direction from you, a hope to tell us how you think it may be set up. Or I'm at loss. Are you going to? Is the OPP going to set the board up, and then we're going to put a member to it?
Well, the OPP doesn't set up the board, but there's going to be a change from what we understand that there will be one police services board for each detachment. So Grey County and Bruce Peninsula is all one detachment. So we would have one police services board. Although there is, I believe, going to be some exception for unique circumstances, and I don't really know what the unique circumstances, the definition of that will be. But we anticipate it flowing from our corporate headquarters out to our regional command, and then from there to detachment. And we have had no information on that as of yet, but as soon as I get that information, I'd certainly be passing it on to our current boards for sure.
So really, we're still busy in a hold situation right now.
That's correct.
So Brittany, I guess I'm going to ask you or Al. We're not really at the point where we can even ask for a staff report to come back to council to explain what's happening.
I mean, the board can always direct whichever report they would like staff to prepare. So that's always an option, even if you feel as though you need more information regarding the information that we have right now. Because really we haven't seen a lot and the board hasn't considered a report regarding the changes. So I would be happy to put together a report with the information that we know of right now for clarity for the board. But as Commander Anderson has said, there are still changes that we are awaiting more information on. But it may be beneficial just to have all of the information that we do have in front of the board for a fulsome discussion.
I think that'd be good because I'm getting mixed feelings from what the information I'm getting. And I don't think I'm getting the proper information. And when I hear that this must be in place by 2022, that's coming close. And they made it very clear at the board discussion they're having there that come hell or high water, it's going to happen. Well, it seems to be a lot of things have to happen before then. So I guess that's where I'm at lost.
Mr. Mayor, I can undertake to bring this up at a regional meeting that I have on the 26th of February to see if there is any more new information from our end and report back on the next meeting.
Thank you. Al, I wonder maybe you and Brittany could work with the commander and see how you can come up with the information for council. Like, for instance, around the, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, I think that's a good idea. I think between Brittany, myself, and the commander, we can sort of put our heads around this and provide a fulsome update to the board in terms of what we know, what we are awaiting still for information, and we can start sort of putting the puzzle pieces together so that the board is aware of what exactly is happening and when it's going to happen.
Okay, I appreciate that because I don't feel comfortable going to council meeting tomorrow night to give a rolling report that I think was sending out mixed feelings and mixed directions, and I prefer to get it from our commander and George and Bus staff and bring it back. So I may just say it'll be deferred until we have that staff report coming back to the board, if that's okay. It's just they were saying alarming things like a public member can only sit on the board for 8 years. That's it. Didn't say anything at all about the provincial appointee, even there, if there is even going to be one. And they did indicate that
You're breaking up again.
most generally appoint the mayor to it. They appoint the mayor to it, and then all the special training must be done before 2022 for the member. So there's a lot more to it than what I think we have.
Wasn't there going to be a university set up or some kind of a schooling you had to take to sit on the board?
I don't know. There's some special training, but again, there's no information. I don't know. I do look forward to this staff report coming back to the board and from the commander. And hopefully, Commander, you can work with us and try and resolve this problem.
Yeah, I'll certainly get as much information as I can.
Thank you. Really, there's nothing more we can say about that, I think, at this time. Brittany, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And through you, if we could just have a show of hands in favor of that direction to prepare a report.
So moved.
And Brittany, before I ask for the vote, that will come back to the board first before council?
That is correct, yes. Procedurally, the report should be considered by the Police Services Board and then referred to council for their information.
So you just send it this by email or something, or?
No, I will
we'll have a
present it.
board-
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I will present it at your next meeting.
Okay. Okay.
If it's important that we have to have another meeting, I can certainly call a meeting quite easy, so it's not a problem there.
Okay.
Okay? All in favor of the direction? Peter, I don't know where your hand is. Are you saying?
He doesn't have.
Is that shoulder?
There, that's how. Good. Thank you. It was carried.
Oh.
This is the first time I've had trouble with this technology.
Well, you're a long ways ahead of me, but anyway.
Oh, I think I need a new computer.
The board will meet again on our regular scheduled meeting, April 13th or if called before. I'll now call for adjournment of the meeting. Peter,
I'll move it.
second by Barry.
Yeah, yeah.
All in favor? It's carried. I guess that's everything. Again, congratulations, Commander, and
Yeah.
welcome to the board.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
We'll see you at the next meeting.
Perfect.